check one.
Was that burial is placed under new business, right? So we can pull the one that comes off the table?
17 gets pulled. Our total distribution.
Can I have someone who has logged in? Let's see.
Okay. What did they?
Representative Desiree, are you there?
You got an extra one of these?
Representative Emerson, are you there?
This one's writing, but it won't stay.
I'm hearing an echo from someone.
The spring is messed up or something.
Someone's not muted. Anyone in virtual, can y'all hear me? It's coming from over there somewhere.
Yes, I can hear you, Chief. Here.
All right, who said here?
What's the left or right with?
We're just testing out the system real quick. We still. Okay, mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Anyone in virtual world, can you hear us?
Hey, Lois, Harjo.
Okay, we're 1 minute away according to my cell phone here. So if council will take their seats, we're going to get ready to start this special call meeting. Call it to order here in a moment. Okay. All right. They give me the thumbs up as far as technology is concerned. So we're going to call this special call meeting of April 9th, 2022 of the General Council of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma to order at this time and ask for the secretary to call the roll.
Leota Simpson.
Here.
Anthony Conley.
Here.
John Narkemy. John Narkemy. Rena Tiger.
Here.
Anastasia Pittman. Anastasia Pittman. Terry Edwards.
Here.
Nancy Fixico. Here. Ida Gonzalez. Here. Tamara Downey.
Chair, I'd like to ask Ms. Downey to be excused from this meeting. She has some personal issues to deal with today.
Okay, that is noted, Representative Petit. On special call meetings, I'll just, for clarification purposes, special call meetings doesn't need excuse, only the quarterly meetings by constitution, but we'll note that, Representative Petit. Thank you.
Leon Petit. Joseph Billy.
Here.
Delois Harjo. Delois Harjo. Karen Fulbright.
Here. I'm sorry, here.
Oh, is that Delois?
Yeah, that sounded like
Yes.
Dolores.
Okay. Karen Fulbright. Karen Fulbright. Ann Borba.
Here.
Stephanie Lambert.
Here.
Sina Yesla.
Here.
Lottie Cootie. Andrea Alexander. Ella Coleman.
Here.
Shirley Watkins. Natalie Harjo.
Here.
Tiffany Thomas. Tiffany Thomas. Catherine McCoy.
Here.
Charlie Hill.
Here.
Tiffany Cully.
Here.
Danita Harjo.
Here.
Willis Dethridge.
Here.
Desiree Emerton. Desiree Emerton. Okay, I have a count of 21 present, 7 absent.
John Narcomi is here.
John, she'll note that when she calls the roll on any of the resolutions. So with a count of 21 present, 7, and we heard Representative Narcomi, we have met quorum for this special call meeting, and we are now in session. I'm going to ask Representative Ida Gonzalez to open us up in prayer.
We thank you for all that are present to do the work of our nation. I pray, Lord, for those that have passed on. I pray for those that are sick. I thank you, Lord, for this beautiful day that thou hast given us. I pray that you be with us throughout this meeting. Be with our leaders, for these things I ask in thy holy name. Amen.
Amen. Okay, reading of minutes of the last meeting of January 29th, 2022, or March the 5th of 2022. What is the
Okay, thank you.
desire of the council on the reading of the minutes?
Make a motion to approve both.
Motion to approve by Representative Gonzalez of both of the meetings of January 29th and March the 5th of 2022. Is there a second? Second by Representative Fixico. Secretary, call the roll. This is approving the minutes of those two that was recited.
Okay. Leetta Sampson.
Yes.
Anthony Conley.
Yes.
John Narcomi.
Yes.
Rena Tiger. Rena Tiger. Anastasia Pittman.
She's unable to get the number and the access code. She don't have it.
Oh, okay. I'll have to send that to her again then. Terry Edwards.
Here? Yes.
Okay. Nancy Fixico.
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez.
Yes.
Tamara Downey. Leon Petit.
Yes.
Joseph Billy.
Yes.
Delois Harjo.
Yes.
Karen Fulbright. Ann Borba.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Sina Yesla.
Yes.
Lottie Cootie. Andrea Alexander. Ella Coleman.
Yes.
Shirley Watkins.
Yes.
Natalie Harjo.
Yes.
Tiffany Thomas. Catherine McCoy.
Abstain.
Charlie Hill.
Abstain.
Tiffany Cully.
Yes.
Danita Harjo.
Yes.
Willis Dethridge.
Yes.
Desiree Emerton.
Yes.
Okay, I have a count of 20 yes, 0 no, 2 abstentions.
Could you repeat that, please?
I have a count of 20 yes, 0 no, 2 abstentions.
With a count of 20 yes, 0 no, and 2 abstentions, that measure passes. Approval of the reading of the minutes of January 29th and March the 5th. Representative Petit,
Chair, I'd like to make a motion that we go into other business before we begin to vote on our current agenda, and ask for a second.
there is a provision within the Code of Laws that asks that it's of serious concern to the tribal council to place other business on the agenda. What is of that serious concern?
And members of my band, some have a question as to TR 2129's verbiage, and I would like to ask the Attorney General for an opinion.
I second that motion.
Lottie already seconded.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is the attorney.
I think on this particular item, it's a question on that particular passage of the Tribal Council of the Seminole Nation. That kind of thoughts can be portrayed through the Attorney General without bringing it to the council floor, actually. So if you have questions as a band for that specific purpose, that motion would be out of order based on the council has already passed the legislation of that back on September the 24th. If you as a council representative have questions pertaining to something that may have passed or may not have passed, and you want not an opinion, but probably a memorandum from the Attorney General, you as a council representative have the ability to speak and write and concur and conversate with the AG anytime that you want to, because you're an elected leader. I would call that particular motion out of order. We're back to the agenda as placed here on the 29th, on April the 9th. We're in unfinished business. Is Mr. Porter here today? You're going to speak for Mr. Porter, Summer? He's en route? Yes. Okay. Well, we're under unfinished business, and we're at TR 2022-14. This is a tribal resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma approving a one-time appropriation of $8 million from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, funds to the Miccosukee Mission Water Infrastructure and Development and Wastewater Management Systems projects. Entertain a motion to that effect. Motion to approve. Second, and I see a Representative Cootie's hand. Representative Cootie. Yeah, I hear it a little bit. You might have to put it up to your mouth a little.
Okay. I was going to ask for it to be tabled again because of the fact that a detailed development proposal is not in place. And any proposal, you know, is not in detail. And so it just seems like all the dollars that are allocated to these proposals is even numbers. And we don't have anything that shows where a contract gave us a proposal to give us an estimate. And our finance law is in place, and it says that budget, it says in Section 5, Title 14, Section 502, the definition for budget in our law says budget or Seminole Nation budget means the Seminole Nation plan of financial operation for fiscal year, including an estimate of proposed expenditure for given purposes and proposed courses for financing them. And it also tells us that we're supposed to be accountable. And my band is having problem with no detail. We have dollars assigned to these proposals, but it says like 800. How do you know it's going to be 800? What kind of who gave you the estimate to say it's going to be 800 or 900 or whatever? And so if we approve these dollars, if it's not spent over $8 million, what's left, where does it go? Back to the administration, or does it go back to American Rescue Plan? So those are the kind of questions that needed to be answered, and we tabled it because of the fact that we didn't have no accountability for this. So I was asked to table it again until that happens.
I second the motion.
There's no discussion on a table. So what, just for clarity purposes, they're asking for a table of this particular item, which is TR 2022-14. And that's what the motion on the floor is, to table it. There's no discussion on the table. So Secretary, call the roll.
Leetta Sampson,
Yes.
Anthony Conley,
Yes.
John Narkemy. John Narkemy.
Going to abstain on that one.
I couldn't hear him.
Abstain.
Abstain? Okay. Rena Tiger,
Abstain.
Anastasia Pittman,
Yes.
Terry Edwards,
Yes.
Nancy Fixico. No. Ida Gonzalez.
No.
Tamara Downey. Leon Petit.
Yes.
Joseph Billy. Joseph Billy.
Yes.
Delois Harjo.
Yes.
Karen Fulbright. Ann Borba.
No.
Stephanie Lambert.
No.
Sina Yesle.
No.
Lottie Cootie. Andrea Alexander. Ella Coleman. Shirley Watkins.
No.
Natalie Harjo.
Yes.
Tiffany Thomas. Catherine McCoy.
Yes.
Charlie Hill.
Yes.
Tiffany Cully.
Abstain.
Danita Harjo.
Abstain.
Willis Dethridge.
No.
Desiree Emerton.
No.
Okay, I have a count of 11 yes, 10 no, 4 abstentions.
With a count of 11 yes and 10 no, that particular item on water infrastructure and waste management has been tabled. Representative Dethridge?
Before we move on, can we make certain that we understand why this was tabled? I could not understand what Ms. Goody was saying. It's almost in a catch-22 as far as what we need to do to get this off the table and get it approved. So what is the majority of the council confused about, or what are they wanting?
Well, Representative Dethridge, you know, being that it was tabled, I understand your comments and your inquiry, but we're not going to discuss a table item at this time. But you heard what Representative Cootie said when she tabled, and there was incorrect numbers that she said during the time of her table. But anyway, it was tabled. It prevailed by 1 vote. So we're on to the next resolution, which will be TR 2022-15, the tribal resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma approving a one-time appropriation of $5 million from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 funds to invest in development of the park and green space amenities at the historical Miccosukee Mission School and Grounds.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Is there a second? Second. Second by Representative Lambert. Secretary?
Okay. Leetta Sampson.
No.
Anthony Conley.
No.
John Narcomi.
Yes.
Sorry, what was that?
Yes.
Okay. Rena Tiger. Rena Tiger. Anastasia Pittman.
No.
Terry Edwards.
No.
Nancy Fixico.
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez.
Yes.
Leon Petit.
Yes.
Joseph Billy.
Yes.
Delois Harjo.
Yes.
Karen Fulbright.
Yes.
Ann Borba.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Sina Yesla,
Yes.
Lottie Cootie, Ella Coleman,
Yes.
Shirley Watkins,
Yes.
Natalie Harjo,
No.
Tiffany Thomas, Catherine McCoy,
No.
Charlie Hill,
No.
Tiffany Cully,
Abstain?
Danita Harjo,
Abstain?
Willis Dethridge,
Yes.
Desiree Emerton. Desiree?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I heard you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I have a count of 14 yes, 8 no, 2 abstentions.
With a count of 14 yes, 8 no, 2 abstentions, I declare that TR 2022-15 has passed. TR 2022-16, a tribal resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma approving a one-time appropriation of $1,500,000 from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 funds for the purpose of renovating the Seminole Nation Miccosukee Mission Bingo Hall into a senior center and COVID-19 response field office.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion to approve, where'd that first come from? Representative Coleman, seconded by Representative Lambert. Secretary, call the roll.
Mr. Petit had his hand up.
This is TR 2022-16.
Mr. Petit has his hand up.
Oh, Representative Petit, I'm sorry. Representative Petit?
Chair, I believe that the call for questions is before any of us have an opportunity to address the panel.
Okay, did you have your hand up before that? I didn't see that, but okay, yes. You have the floor, Representative Petit.
Okay, there are some members in my band, they have questions as to whether or not we've done a study to indicate how many people are actually serviced in the Wewoka area there that are from the Wewoka area that would require busing over to the mission, and including in the Sasakwa and Kanawha areas too, making it more convenient for the number of people. If we could have some kind of verification on that, because, you know, currently those people that reside in the Wewoka area or Sasakwa area, those that are from my band have indicated that it's more convenient for them to go to the OAP there, and if they have other tribal business, they're right there at the complex too. And that was our concern about that.
Well, obviously, transit can take any of our tribal members anywhere that they desire to go. And if they are actually riding the transit, you know, the distance, you know, is not that much of a difference, but the health benefits of a larger facility is immensely, and the potential activities that can be done within this particular program can be expanded. So that is a concern I can see from your band members, and that's taken and that's noted. But we are meeting in the next few days to the next 10 days on with our directors, and we're hoping to do a soft opening up of our facilities, and hopefully by the summertime open up totally back up to the tribal membership. This particular item here, there was a lot of thought that went into it, and that's where we're at. It's not something that just was pulled out of a hat. Representative Cootie.
Chief, you know, we have building in Sasakwa, and I think at one time they were anticipating using that to service Sasakwa and Kanawha area, and we also have a building in Strothers. What about those buildings? Why don't we utilize them?
You're talking about the community centers there?
Yes, uh-huh.
Those community centers there are all our community centers. Unfortunately, during that period of time when the community centers were being built were ICDBG projects, and they were built a lot smaller in size than what would be adequately accessible for a community center. Now, what this can actually do, if this was to pass, not only serve the Older American program, or what, the council changed to Senior Citizen Center to, but it's still federally called the Older American program, as we all know. It would enhance the ability of seniors to be able to meet even during the pandemic with the distancing and the other amenities that can be done with a center of this size as far as a community center. In the evenings, it could be used for that purpose. It would be the largest facility that we have if indeed it was to pass today. And then it would allow a lot of things that I'm not, it's not privy to go ahead and go in and discuss it when you're dealing with these types of funds, but it opens up a lot for the nation, so to speak, on that strip that we call that Wewoka area for additional business. As we get the programmatic activities moving away from that strip, it's going to open it up for the purpose of true economic development along that whole strip. And I think, we as tribal leaders, we are elected to position ourselves for progress. I use that terminology because that's exactly what this administration wants to do, is position the Seminole Nation for progress. And that means in every area, whether it's the Senior Citizen Center, our seniors have suffered over a period of time because of non-social action and getting together. So we want to provide that and also provide other types of amenities and services to the Seminole Nation as a whole with a facility of this size. Thank you, Lottie. Representative Cootie. Okay. And Chief Palmer can take the floor. Matter of fact, Chief Palmer, as we're going through these particular resolutions, why don't you just move down to the center? But there's a question and a second on the floor. You can have a seat unless a question is asked of you. You can just turn one of those chairs around. Okay, there's a motion and a second. So at this time, we're on TR 2022-16, and I'm going to ask the secretary to call the roll. TR 2022-16.
Leetta Sampson,
No.
Anthony Conley,
No.
John Narkemy,
Yes.
Rena Tiger,
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman,
No.
Terry Edwards,
No.
Nancy Fixico,
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez,
Yes.
Leon Petit,
No.
Joseph Billy,
Yes.
Delois Harjo,
Yes.
Karen Fulbright,
Yes.
Ann Borba,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Sina Yesla,
Yes.
Lottie Cootie,
No.
Ella Coleman,
Yes.
Shirley Watkins,
Yes.
Yes.
Natalie Harjo,
No.
can you repeat that, Natalie?
No.
Okay. Sorry, I got noisy in here. Sorry. Catherine McCoy,
No.
Charlie Hill,
Either does.
Charlie Hill,
No.
Tiffany Cully,
Abstain.
Danita Harjo,
Abstain.
Willis Dethridge,
Yes.
Desiree Emerton,
Yes. I've been having computer problems. Did you mark me as present for the meeting?
let me see. At the beginning, I counted you absent.
Okay, I'm able to see and hear on my computer now, so.
Oh, okay, but I've been hearing your vote, so after that.
Madam?
Okay, I have a count of 14 yes, 9 no, 2 abstentions.
With a count of 14 yes, 9 no, and 2 abstentions, I declare Tribal Resolution 2022-16 to have been approved. TR 2022-17, this is going to be pulled. This is I'll read it, a tribal resolution of Seminole Nation of Oklahoma approving a one-time appropriation of $975,000 from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 funds to the Judgment Fund Burial Assistance Program. It will be addressed under new business. This particular TR 2022-17 is being pulled at this time. We're on TR 2022-18, a tribal resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma approving a one-time appropriation of $2,100,000 from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 funds to tribal early Head Start and Head Start programs for response to COVID-19 public emergency.
Make a motion to approve?
Motion approved by Representative Gonzalez. Second by Representative Borba. I see no hands in virtual or seated. So Secretary, call the roll.
Leetta Sampson,
No.
Anthony Conley,
No.
John Narkemy,
Yes.
Rena Tiger, Rena Tiger,
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman,
No.
Terry Edwards,
No.
Nancy Fixico,
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez,
Yes.
Leon Petit,
No.
Joseph Billy,
Yes.
Delois Harjo,
Yes.
Karen Fulbright,
Yes.
Ann Borba,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Sina Yesla,
Yes.
Lottie Cootie, Ella Coleman,
Yes.
Shirley Watkins,
Yes.
Natalie Harjo,
No.
Catherine McCoy,
No.
Charlie Hill,
No.
Tiffany Cully,
Abstain.
Danita Harjo,
Abstain.
Willis Dethridge,
Yes.
Desiree Emerton,
Yes.
I have a count of 14 yes, 9 no, 2 abstentions.
With a count of 14 yes, 9 no, and 2 abstentions, I declare TR 2022-18 to have passed. Ms. Summer, are you here for the Wells? Okay. TR 2022-19, a tribal resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma approving a one-time appropriation of $750,000 from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 funds to create a program that benefits active, eligible, historically significant churches and ceremonial grounds within the boundaries of or near the Seminole Nation Reservation.
Make a motion to approve?
Motion approved by Representative Coleman, second by Representative Fixico.
I wrote it down right.
All right. I don't see any hands either in virtual or in-house.
I have a hand.
Oh, Mr. John Markamy.
Representative Narcomi.
My band has a.
You
has a
have the
request.
floor. You may speak up a little bit, or in IT, maybe you can turn them up a little.
My band has a request to strike the words "or near" from this resolution.
Can you get close? Can you turn him up a little bit? It's difficult to hear him. Repeat that, Representative Narcomi.
My band has a request to strike the word "or near" from this resolution.
Are you asking for a friendly amendment to this resolution?
I am.
What Representative Narcomi is asking is that we strike the term or the word "or near."
To retain it strictly within the boundaries of our reservation.
We do have some traditional churches that are predominantly considered Seminole, that are, as the crow flies, literally a few feet away from the exterior boundaries of the Seminole Reservation, and that's why that "for near" is in there.
And I do understand that, and I appreciate that idea. However, it was a subject of great discussion within my band, and the majority of my band genuinely felt that it's in the best interest of the Seminole Nation to keep this particular stand within the boundaries of the reservation.
Okay, did you have a second, Representative Narcomi? And does the original motion presenters accept that friendly amendment to strike "or near" out of the language of this resolution? Chief Palmer, I see you raising your eyebrows. You have something to say? Okay.
Representative Narcomi, given the fact that some of these traditional churches have received funding from other nations with ARPA dollars and CARE dollars as well, and some of the churches outside of their jurisdiction were denied this opportunity for funding from those nations, I can accept that friendly amendment.
Well, the ones who made the motions are the ones that accept that amendment. The ones that made the motion originally, do you accept that to strike "or near"? You agree to that? How about the second person who made the motion? Was that you, Representative Coleman? You were one or two?
No, it was Ida and Nancy.
Oh, you both made the motion. Okay. You accept that or to strike "or near"? Okay, then that's a friendly amendment added to this resolution to strike the term and phrase "or near" the reservation.
Okay. She's got a question.
So in essence, with that friendly amendment, the churches must reside within the exterior boundaries of the Seminole Reservation. Now, I want this council to know, and I'm not sure that each and every one of you know what the exterior boundaries of our reservation. Even the last administration did not know what the exterior boundaries of our reservation was, and there was a big miscue on the grocery cards back then. So I want you to know that it's not Seminole County, okay? It's not Seminole County. The line of the Seminole Nation Reservation is not the whole of Seminole County. The eastern portions of the eastern part of Seminole County is considered the Muskogee Creek Nation. There are some churches on that side. I want you to know, just feet, literally feet, with Seminole pastors, with a big population of Seminole people that attend that. And I want you to know, not necessarily these churches or ARPA funds are directed only to within the exterior boundaries. But saying that, there is a motion on the floor, a second. Friendly amendments have been accepted to strike near the, or near, and then I see the hand of Theophilus Representative Harjo. Representative Harjo?
Thank you, Chair. I just had a really quick question. Do we have an existing list of the potential eligibility of the people or of the ceremonial grounds and the churches that are eligible and potentially eligible? And also, do we have developed eligibility guidelines, or is that something that we're going to work on after the fact if this passes?
Representative Chief Palmer?
Thank you, Representative Harjo. Yes, we do have a list. We took that into account with the requested appropriation. And also, there is an application that is being developed. But again, with the passage of this, we'll move forward with that. And we needed the final legislation in order to continue with that process and finalize it.
Chair, I do have one more additional question on that.
Go right ahead, Representative Harjo. You still have the floor.
Thank you, and I will direct it to you, Assistant Chief. Can you, first of all, let me state this. I know in an emergent situation that sometimes it's best to just get it done and then figure it out later. But the habit or a trend of doing that is not suitable for us to be able to take that information back and give good, quality understanding to our band members. And so a lot of times when we don't have that information, we fall into a situation like we did with all of these being tabled, right? We didn't bring them adequate information because we don't know that information yet later on, and we've done it for several different resolutions. So that's basically what I'm just stating as the reasoning why a lot of us are voting no, is because that lack of information, and we're waiting and hoping that it comes later. All I'm asking specifically at this point, Assistant Chief, is that you please forthwith, if this passes, please get this information to us in a hasty fashion so we can know, or at least keep us posted to let us know if there is any development that happens, so that we may be able to come in and maybe expound on our necessities, and also keep us in the loop, because what it feels like lately, and I'm speaking for myself in my own opinion as a tribal member, not even as a representative. I feel like several things that have happened lately have happened without anybody's knowledge. I just want to make sure that we are clear that if this passes, and several of these things have passed, that we are kept in the loop, and that even if there's nothing finalized, that we at least are apprised of the situation and updated as it goes. Because a lot of this stuff that has been happening has kind of flown under the radar, and I have asked several of my colleagues and council representatives if you knew about this, and they don't. So that's scary to me, and I don't want that to become trend. So that being said, is all I'm asking or requesting is as soon as this passes, because I'm pretty sure it's going to, that we please are kept in the loop on the updates and the budget and the justification for said budgets. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you, Representative Harjo. It's noted, and we do plan on, with any of these projects, to keep council informed. We can keep them informed through the portal or through the band chiefs meetings that continue every 2 weeks, and of course at the next council meeting. Thank you.
Representative Watkins?
I just had one question. When you had done the budget, you had put $25,000 out of the $750,000. Y'all had already considered all of the churches out of the boundaries, right? So, you know, even accepting the friendly amendment, they were considered.
That's correct.
Okay, any other questions? If not, this is TER 2022-20.
Chief,
Yes, I hear a voice.
this is Representative Pittman.
Representative Pittman, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My concerns were along the same lines as when you submitted the proposal for a particular amount, that particular amount included those churches outside of the boundaries. And after the friendly amendment was accepted, there was no decrease in funding that is being proposed. That's my first concern, which means now that the budget is off. It's taken out of consideration those churches that will be just a few feet away and not be serviced, but they were included in the amount of funds that we're going to be voting on. So I'd like to hear a new proposal or the friendly amendment include the new budget amount. And I also want to ask the question, if you have a list of churches that are active and churches that are inactive, because in the proposal, you said active churches within our region, within our tribal compound. So is there a list of inactive churches as well?
Did you say are they inactive churches as well?
Yes. Are there? We in the proposal we asked for churches that were active, but do we have a list of churches that are inactive that are still within our boundaries?
We do have a list, and inactive, the terminology inactive means that they're not meeting and have not met for a period of time. And not by the pandemic, not because of the pandemic, but they're just not meeting. And obviously we have ceremonial grounds that their fires are no longer active as well. So I hope that clears up the term active. As far as the budget's concerned, how it actually works is you only pull down the amount according at any given time for those that are participating within these programs. So it's not to answer a question that had already been asked. What if this amount doesn't use? Is it going to go to the administration? And the answer to that is absolutely not. It will stay within the ARPA funding.
Thank you.
Call for question.
Okay, we're on TR 2022-20. I'm sorry, correction, stand corrected, TR 2022-19. And that's what all the discussion has been about. So Secretary, call the roll.
Leetta Sampson,
No.
Anthony Conley,
No.
John Narcome,
Yes.
Rena Tiger,
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman,
No.
Terry Edwards, Nancy Fixico,
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez,
Yes.
Leon Petit,
No.
Joseph Billy,
Yes.
Delois Harjo,
Yes.
Karen Fulbright, Ann Borba,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Sina Yesla,
Yes.
Lottie Cootie, Ella Coleman,
Clarification, this vote here is for the friendly amendment, right? Okay, no.
No, hold it. That
No,
friendly
we're voting.
amendment was accepted. That friendly amendment was accepted by both of the original motion givers. And had they not accepted it, then we went to a vote on just the friendly amendment. This is the resolution as amended. Okay?
Okay, no.
Shirley Watkins,
No.
Natalie Harjo,
No.
Tiffany Thomas, Catherine McCoy,
No.
Charlie Hill,
No.
Tiffany Cully,
Abstain.
Danita Harjo,
Abstain.
Willis Dethridge,
Yes.
Desiree Emerton,
Yes.
Okay, I have a count of 12 yes, 10 no, 2 abstentions.
With a count of 12 yes and 10 no and 2 abstentions, I declare TR 2022-19 to have passed. TR 2022-20, a tribal resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma approving a one-time appropriation of $975,000 from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, funds to residential water well and wastewater treatment unit, installation, repair, and rehabilitation project. Entertain a motion to that effect. Motion by Representative Dethridge, second by Representative Lambert. Hold up, Summer. Let's see if there's any questions. Representative Dethridge? you
This
can-
is for all tribal members living in Oklahoma, is that correct?
That is correct. This is being developed to be used inside the state of Oklahoma.
We do have Miss Summer here from Environmental, but if there's no questions. And Mr. Porter. They were here for that first question too. He stopped at Dunkin' Donuts. No, I'm just kidding. Thank y'all for both being here. But if there's no question on this particular measure. Okay, Representative Fulbright, you have the floor.
Since they are here, can they give us a brief summary on this since they made the effort to appear today?
You asked them. to-
Excuse me?
She's asking
I'll
all,
call the question.
Who's calling for question? Catherine McCoy.
they're asking to call for the question on this. So,
Already had the floor.
No, if, it's pretty clear, unless you have questions. Yeah, it's pretty clear as it is. But they are here. They are here, and we appreciate them being here to answer any questions as far as from their side. Okay. So TR 2022-20, Secretary, call the roll.
I see a hand up.
You see a hand up?
From, Representative Markamy.
Representative Narkamy?
Actually, mine, it's not really a question for this particular question. I just had a general comment, and I can make it after this vote.
Is that all you have, Representative Narkamy?
Yes, I was just wanting to make a general statement.
Secretary, call the roll.
Chief,
Oh, is there a hand here? Okay, I hear a voice.
this is Representative Pittman.
Okay, Representative Pittman, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chief. And just briefly, she did have the floor prior to the call of question. So I'm not sure if we're using Robert's Rules of Order. But if they are here, we would like to hear the information and the summary. Like Representative Hodges says, we're voting no because we don't have any information. And we don't want to be held accountable for using ARPA funds without the knowledge of how these funds are going to be used and an explanation given. So if they are present, we would like to be able to take information back to our band to explain what happened and the rationale for it.
What I would ask, does every council representative have access to the council portal? And do you actually use the council portal? I would advise that if you do not know how to get on the council portal, that you find out how that is done, and read the information that's on there.
Chief?
Yes, Representative Pittman?
Thank you. That was a technology problem for me, and I was just given access to the portal this week. So I have not read the rationale for this particular resolution.
Okay, thank you, Representative Pittman. Okay, Representative Pittman agreed with Representative Fulbright. If the representatives from this environmental could answer some questions on it. I know the question be called, there's actually, when discussion is being done, a question can't be called just to cut discussion, okay? I realize that as chairman. That's not why a call for question is there. The call for question is usually there with all discussion and has been concluded. And do you want to hear from environmental? We have two representatives that now want that.
Well, I did ask for them and was turned down, so if things have changed, then if they are willing to come up, then great.
Well, everything's pretty forward there, but according to some, they don't have the information. So, Mr. Porter, if you would come to the floor at this time.
Good morning, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Porter, for being here today.
I'm sorry I was late. We were working late last night on the water line, so that's why I'm here a little tired. This is Summer Jennings. She's with Environmental Health Services. She's new. She's been around for a couple of years, but she's new to the staff, and she's the one who actually came up with the proposal. So it's basically just an extension of what we're doing now with water and sewer, and it's just, we're just reaching out further is what it is. So if she wants to talk about it a little bit, I'm going to turn it over to her.
Thank you. Our existing funding is limited on what we can provide. We are obligated to only go so far, and that's where this project comes in to fill that gap. We can go in and help with water quality and fixing water wells instead of new installations only or total rehabs, which I think would really help our community. We get calls all the time with water wells and problems, and I can't help with that because our funding won't let us.
And we have restrictions on certain things we can do, and this will actually help us to go inside the house to do some minor plumbing, reach homes that we normally can't reach under our program now. So folks, it's just an extension of that is all it is. I know most of you are familiar with Office of Environmental Health and Engineering. This is just, helps us reach further.
Are there any specific questions about anything or anything you would like us to address while we're here?
I see Representative Harjo through Audley Band, and then Representative Fulbright.
Thank you, Chair. I actually just want to kind of expound as to why I have a question. And I don't know why I'm cutting out. Is that giving you a lot of feedback?
We don't hear it.
Okay, good. It's just me then. I have questions as far as the budget that was submitted to us, meaning the ARPA residential water well attachment, if anybody wants to follow along. In the justifications, this is really the main reason that I'm having to vote no on a lot of things. So I'm going to clarify with you because this is something that we would need. There is a supply justification. Let me just tell you, there's a supply justification that says necessary supplies to perform project, $5,000. And when I was the director for the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, our accounting place would absolutely not allow us to just have a very measly justification like this. Let me also give you another example. Contractual services. The justification is costs to implement project, $962,590. That's it. That's our justification that we got. So I'm going to ask you if you can just very briefly just kind of discuss, number one, where these numbers came from, how you got to these numbers, briefly what it entails, and then also, I mean, that's just to give us that information. I have no doubt that you were wonderful at your job, and I know that we need this service. I just need to be able to justify this so I can make a good decision later on. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Ma'am, the main bulk of this is contractual. That's kind of what we do now. The numbers here for supplies, basically, you know, printer, ink, paper, that's what we're thinking.
This is for 4 years.
And it is for 4 years.
Yes, to carry this project through the next 4 years. And things are so fluctuating right now, and inflation and the cost of materials and labor and contractors. We cannot really pin down an exact cost that it's going to take to put a water softening system in at a tribal member's home every time it's going to happen from now to the next 4 years. And so we contract that with the vendors, licensed well installers and servicers to do these things, and they provide estimates and quotes, and we just kind of have to go with what the world is offering us with the cost of work and contractors and materials. That's why most of it's tied up with contractual services.
That's kind of what I mean, I kind of assumed that, and I am familiar with projections and quotes, and this is what you have to use for right now. But we also, and this isn't directed towards you at all, we also want for the viewers and for our tribal members that are watching to understand that this cost may not be an absolute cost. It may fluctuate and go higher. And then what do we do? And so that's what we need to thoroughly make sure that our tribal members understand, that if it comes to the point that we do implement this and then later on the cost may rise above that, then we're not going to be able to service as many people as we once thought we were because of the inflation and everything. And we just want to make sure that we're very clear with people, right? So that's really my need for clarifications a lot of times, is so it doesn't just sound like, well, you said you could do all of this and you could do this many, houses, and now you're saying you can't, because that just is going to alleviate some issues that administration will have to follow up, or you guys will have to deal with, right? So that's the only reason for my clarification. So I do understand that. And then with a modicum of error, a lot of times those quotes are assumed that that's the actual, and that's not always the case. And so in supplies, like I said, the only reason I asked the question is because the justification that we got right here, to me, to our standards, is very measly. So I thank you very much for at least saying that it's going to be for printer ink, and that's normal. But that should have also been in the budget narrative and the justification that we received. And even if it is just, we need toilet paper, we need paper towels, that's what we want to see. We can't assume, because I'm not in your profession, so I can't assume what supplies you need. So that's how we like to follow that instruction. So I appreciate you. Thank you very much. That is all I needed from you, me personally, and I'll let the next representative speak. Thank you.
Thank you.
Representative Fulbright, I saw your hand.
Thank you, Chair. The reason I asked you to come up is to explain this program, because there's a lot of tribal members that aren't allowed to go to their band meetings due to the fact that they live outside the boundaries and for various reasons. And some bands have virtual, some don't. But so they will know what is being offered with this money. That's what I wanted them to hear, because maybe they're watching today and go, oh, I didn't know that's what that was for, or, One of the questions I do have is, I know there's limitations on how you can assist tribal members. Billy, with your program versus this program, is this more flexible?
Yes, it'll be flexible, and as you know, it's the variable unit cost. That's the big
Yes.
Problem here. We don't know what we're going to spend at each site. We do a site evaluation, because right now, when we do unit cost, when we drill a well, and we just have a basic unit cost of $20,000 to drill a well. That's before you see it, you're on site, and it turns into many different things after you're there, and you encounter different problems while you're there.
Been there, yes. And because if somebody has a water pump that goes out, that's an emergency.
Yes.
And will that person be able to get assisted pretty quick with that?
That is my goal, yes.
Okay.
That's my goal.
Because you're going to have contractors out.
Here's the challenge now, though.
Okay.
Contractors are having trouble getting materials.
Exactly.
Getting laborers. So
laborers, yes.
Yes. And as even emergency service isn't fast anymore today.
I know.
That's how it is.
And if they have water lines running in their area and they have access to it and they chose not to use the water lines, is that going to keep them from getting assistance on getting their water well fixed in this program?
We will not, if they are connected to a public water supply, we will not disconnect them to drill a well. If they are connected to an existing water well, I believe this project is geared to be able to help with that existing water well. Whereas with our federal funding,
you got to go with the water line. Yes.
And I think the reason we've addressed it that way is this all developed because of COVID, and they need a water supply.
Yes.
That's what we're looking at.
So if they got existing well and their pump goes out, there is a line available, but they chose not to, then you can still help assist them.
I believe with this project,
That's what our intent is.
Okay, that's what I wanted to get clarification on, because I know that's out there, you know, so. Okay, thank you.
Representative Coleman.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Porter and Ms. Summer, for being here with us today, making yourself available. And for those that have questions regarding the water and wastewater related questions, we had an item that was tabled, so I know we can't discuss it, but you all are available to attend any band meetings or any band chiefs meetings to address questions, right?
Yes.
Okay, so could you give your telephone number out so these individuals, these bands, representatives, could be able to call you all and schedule some time in their band meetings if that is the case?
Yes.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, my number for Billy Porter is 405-257-7278. 405-257-7278.
405-257-7213. That's for Summer Jennings. 405-257-7213.
I see Representative Watkins' hand. Representative Watkins, you have the floor.
On this resolution here, how will you address the property owner's land situation? Since there's going to be several property owners that you'll have to address, going across their property.
I think at this point, I think we have to stick pretty much to our federal guidance as the property owner has a deed, and that's basically, I think we're going to have to stick close to that. The undivided land situations are sometimes more of a challenge. Everyone's not agreeable sometimes to allow service to that site. So the federal guidance for us right now is the person we serve owns the land, or the person who does own the land is an Indian. So the applicant is Indian, the landowner is Indian under the federal guidance right now. I'm thinking we need to stick close to that for this.
So we're not going to be going like the ARPA HIP program with the 25-year lease, helping this individual.
I think if you're talking about the residential lease, like through BIA, that's acceptable. It is. That establishes ownership and permission to be on that site.
Mr. Porter, on someone who has a well and it's undivided, if they were able to get everybody to sign off on it that's on there, that would be considered as well. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, it would.
Yes. Okay, so I want that to be clear. Representative Borba.
Yes, I was wondering if your program helped people who already had a septic system and they needed it pumped out. Would you be able to do those type of services, contract, and have it pumped out?
Yes, that is our goal, to be able to provide that type of service as well. Working toward that goal, yes.
Would be with the ARPA funds once that's set go on it.
Okay, are there any other questions under discussion? Summer and Mr. Porter, we appreciate your presence in the council today. Thank you for answering the questions that were brought forward.
Thank you.
So we're back to TR 2022-20, and there are no more questions that I see in virtual nor here presently. So Secretary, Call the roll.
Leetta Sampson,
No.
Anthony Conley,
No.
John Narkemy,
Yes.
Rena Tiger,
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman,
No.
Terry Edwards,
No.
Nancy Fixico,
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez,
Yes.
Leon Petit,
No.
Joseph Billy,
Yes.
Delois Harjo,
Yes.
Karen Fulbright, Ann Borba,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Sina Yesla,
Yes.
Lottie Cootie, Ella Coleman,
Yes.
Shirley Watkins,
Yes.
Natalie Harjo,
No.
Tiffany Thomas, Catherine McCoy,
No.
Charlie Hill,
No.
Tiffany Cully,
Abstain.
Danita Harjo,
Abstain.
Willis Dethridge, Desiree Emerton,
Yes.
Okay, I have a count of 14 yes, 9 no, 2 abstentions.
With a count of 14 yes, 9 no, and 2 abstentions, I declare TR 2022-20 to have passed. TR 2022-21, a tribal resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma approving a one-time appropriation of $1,400,000, excuse me, $1,400,000 from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, funds to facilitate a central services public facility in response to the negative impacts of COVID-19 public health emergency. Representative Coleman? Is there a second? Motion approved by Representative Coleman, second by Representative Lambert. Is that correct, Representative Lambert? You second that? I saw your hand, but I didn't hear your voice. Okay. Any discussion? Representative Petit, you have the floor.
Chair, I believe the last time this was discussed, there was a question as to whether or not the location of the proposed facility was within the Seminole Nation Reservation. And I believe I saw the prosecuting attorney. Is he here? Could he answer some questions on that?
Well, is there any objections to the attorney coming and expounding on this issue? There's a motion and second on the floor. I see no objections at this time.
I'm not going to say that I know exactly the locations, but if you'll give me an idea, I mean, go ahead and let me know. See what I can answer.
I think what had been mentioned before was that this was in the Creek Nation where this proposed facility that they were talking about leasing.
Is this the DHS facility? Okay, go ahead.
And I think the questions that were asked last time were, would this affect the prosecution of people within our nation because it's outside our Seminole Nation Reservation territorial grounds?
As long as the administrative aspects of the court and the court clerk's office are at that building, there would be no effect. The only effect would be if we actually have court in that facility, the court would be limited in its ability to hold people in contempt because that's a criminal act. So they would be committing a criminal act in the Muskogee Creek Nation unless we put it into trust, which I believe is one of the options that has been presented. Once land is put into trust for Seminole Nation, It is held as essentially an informal reservation, and that is case law that has presented that. So that would be an informal reservation of the Seminole Nation, which would allow us to assert criminal jurisdiction, and it would allow for the court to function there. Good enough? Okay. Any other questions?
Just for your information as well, we did correspond and speak with the Bureau of Indian Affairs, and there's a terminology called transfer of trust properties, the status of that property, and as long as it's agreeable with the Muskogee Creek Nation, then it's a possibility of being done. Okay, and we do have trust lands equivalent to 45 acres on that side of the line, so that possibility is there for a portion of the property if the council so desired to do that. So I'll just put a clarification there. Representative Watkins, you have the floor.
Chair, it's my understanding that in May, that the Bureau of Indian Affairs may, I guess, entrust there, it's a possibility that it's going to be going a little bit faster than what previously they have done before. That's what we have heard.
Well, if indeed the council so called us to pursue what is sometimes called a transfer of the same status, that is a little bit more expedient than going through the whole trust application. Now, we have done since I came into office, we do have a piece of property that's been placed in the trust. We also have a different functioning system where we have pulled in land research to assist us in moving trust applications in whole and complete, so they have more of a chance first time being approved. And in essence, what that will do is that will cut the time. There's another nation that is south of us that has a pretty good system. Sometimes they're capable of turning a trust property within the exterior boundaries of their jurisdiction at one time, now reservation, in less than 6 months. So if you have everything put together in a proper format, I'm not saying it's going to be approved in 6 months, but I will say that it has the ability to go a lot more expeditious, so that you don't have to keep starting your application over and over. So I think with the help of land research, I think we're going to be able to speed up those trust applications for the Seminole Nation in the future. Not reinventing the wheel. You know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. See what others are doing, how they're doing it. If they're getting their lands in trust in 3 to 6 months, my lands. Just do it. All right. Any other questions?
Yes, I'll go on ahead and make my statement as it pertains to this.
Oh, Representative Narkemy?
Yes. I'm going to add on to my fellow representatives that have made comments throughout our process here of the descriptions and the justifications for these resolutions. There's no other way to put it. They're incomplete. I mean, we discussed this in my band, all these matters. My band is extending an awful amount of faith and trust in their representatives and the administration in agreeing to these ideas when these descriptions and justifications are so incomplete. This is a tactic that's been used by previous administrations, and it's a tactic that I've challenged under previous administrations. And I'd be remiss if I didn't, point my finger of shame at whether it's intended or not. This is exactly what I've seen previously. Justifications, budgets being presented to the council that they say this money's needed for this purpose, but there's no elaboration. Now, as a representative, I do have access to some of this information, but the general member isn't quite easily accessed to that. And it is true that it's the band chief and the representatives, one of their jobs is to express this to the band. But sometimes the band member themselves want to see it. And we all, for this particular run, we're all priding ourselves on being open and being accessible to the general members. So presenting budgets that state equipment, cost to implement project under contractual services, necessary supplies to perform project. And I know it's not intended, but it's an insult to our members because they want information. Maybe not all of them, but some of them do. Putting this information, in our newspapers, putting it out there on the websites, on the pages, so that those members that actually want to see these answers or have these questions, they can see it written in PDF form. It's just the general thing that pertains to this particular resolution as well as the other ones we've just passed, that the people want to know more. And as a representative, I can give them certain answers. I can give them as many answers as I can, but some of them just want to see it with their own eye. And I think that we as representatives and you two as the administration, we need to do a better job at that. Thank you.
Chief Palmer, for the specifics, of the inquiry just stated, we do know that the prosecuting attorney just stated what he said, that we have an influx of staff within court, would not be opposed to being housing there, and there wouldn't be no issues with that. We also have other programs that are affiliated with court many times that could utilize at least the office space. What we do know is that what Representative Narkemy stated also behooves everyone to become involved in and a little bit more familiar with what the American Rescue Plan Act is and what it allows and what it doesn't allow, because sometimes every one of these projects has been scoped over underneath those the final rule, as well as the Congressional Act itself. So the administration would never purposely, and I say purposely, put something before this tribal council that hasn't been clearly allowable under the present final rule and or the American Rescue Plan Act that Congress passed. I understand everyone's concern as well, and we'll definitely try to do better.
Thank you, Representative Narkemy, for those comments. And as requested by council, each and every one of these resolutions was presented to the Finance Committee, and each one was approved by the Finance Committee as presented. with some changes that they had requested with some of the justifications and some of the other explanations with those. So it's noted, and we will do a better job as far as itemizing the supplies or deeper explanations on the scope and some of the other items in that you had requested and described there. So thank you.
And I just want the council to know this, that with the information of the prosecuting attorney, Attorney General is setting in for, I guess, one of the assistant attorney generals. Do you concur with the prosecutor's thoughts on that? I don't know that you do or not, but whether you do or you don't, I'm not trying to create conflict here, but if that's the case, then the nation will not have tribal court over there until other things are done. If this was to pass, but we could house some needed office space for what is needed within the nation. So I would not do that, especially in the area that has been presented. But what is your thoughts on that?
I do agree with our prosecutor. I think there's some other things to consider, but in the whole part, yes, Mr. Brown is correct.
Okay.
And if I may add, post-McGirt, we're holding court here at the council house. We are prosecuting crimes that we haven't before. Murder crimes, crimes against women and children. And what we're doing is introducing that element to the mission. Personally, I do not want to see somebody on trial for child molestation to even have the ability to look at our playgrounds and see our children as they're entering and exiting the courtroom. If we have individuals that are accused of murder, when you look at this area from a safety standpoint, we're not in a position for very many safety protocols, just with the design of the building and the location of the building. And as we develop the Mission Park projects and we have more families and individuals that are enjoying these grounds, we definitely do not want to have that element here. It's a safety concern. It's a obligation for us to conduct certain business in certain areas. And I do not feel like the Mission Grounds is a place to hold those trials. And it's something we need to consider when you have that criminal element and maybe their supporters here hanging out at the grounds while there's court. And we have children, we have elders, and it's something to consider, and it's a point that I would like to emphasize as we continue to navigate post-McGirt.
As Chief Palmer has said, that is a component that I don't think a lot of people has even thought about, because as we transition into working with McGirt, that doesn't mean the courthouse will be, if this was to pass, at that location. We will continue as an administration that sits before you and was elected to these positions that both Chief Palmer and myself hold. We will eventually, hopefully, get our children away from the casinos as well. We have plans for Cornwall. We have plans for Wewoke as well, and the funds to be able to develop new child care centers. So we never, when I sat on this tribal council, never agreed that those type of facilities should be close to where children are at play. And I do concur with what Chief Palmer has mentioned as far as we're going to be prosecuting a lot more severe crimes. We are doing it, and we will continue to do it as we grow within our tribal court system. But just saying that our tribal court system is growing, they're looking for office space. And I appreciate the prosecutor saying as far as office space, there would not be any issue. with that. So we won't do anything that is detrimental to this nation. So we appreciate the advice of our attorneys that are present here today.
Mr. Chair?
Representative Hill?
Yes.
You have the floor.
Okay, thank you. First of all, Mr. Chair, I would like to say that I totally concur with Mr. Narkman's comments. I'll leave it at that. Second of all, with all the 9 resolutions that we had tabled before last month, here we got it back on the floor today. And what we needed to know was the fact that you, as the chairman of the council, should have, which you did, initiate an open statement. But the finance committee are the ones that should be bringing it to the council. And I haven't heard not one finance council member or representative of that committee speak at all.
I tried to understand everything you said, sir, but you did have a little bit of echo in your comments, but I understood. I appreciate your comments.
Chair.
Is this Representative Sampson?
No, this is Cena.
Representative Yesleth, I see your hand.
Yes.
You have the floor.
I know it's repetitive, but I just wanted to agree with everybody else that they said about the proposals. The only benefit I got was because when this was first brought up, I had the same questions on each one. But I had the ability to have assistant chief because his wife is in our band. So he did explain, these and ask why there's no budget for them. But I just want to go back and expound on his financial committee approving these. I know there are several financial committee that are on the council and that have been previously there before. They know what we're going to ask. And, you as well know what we're going to ask with the previous administrations. And that's what we would just like to see. But I'd also just like to let the finance committee know that these are things that we like to see. And hopefully in the future, they will look at these as well and see that they themselves want to see further detail. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, Representative Yesleth. Okay, with everything that's been discussed thus far, and even the words from our attorneys, there's a motion and a second. Are there any other discussion on this matter? Secretary, call the roll.
No. Anthony Conley?
No.
John Narkemy?
Yes.
Rena Tiger?
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman? Anastasia Pittman? Terry Edwards?
No.
Nancy Fixico?
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez?
Yes.
Leon Petit?
No.
Joseph Billy?
Yes.
Delois Harjo?
Yes.
Karen Fulbright?
Yes.
Ann Borba?
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert?
Yes.
Sina Yesla?
Yes.
Lottie Cootie?
No.
Ella Coleman?
Yes.
Shirley Watkins?
Yes.
Natalie Harjo?
No.
Tiffany Thomas? Catherine McCoy?
No.
Charlie Hill?
No.
Tiffany Cully?
Abstain.
Danita Harjo?
Abstain.
Willis Dethridge?
No.
Desiree Emerton?
No.
Okay, I have a count of 12 yes, 10 no, 2 abstentions.
With a count of 12 yes, 10 no, and 2 abstentions, I declare TR 2022-21 to have passed. TR 2022-22, a resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma approving a one-time appropriation of $10 million from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 funds under the SLFRF Final Rule Standard Allowance for the purpose of tribal government stabilization.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Representative Coleman. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Representative Borba? Or where'd that come from?
Watkins.
Representative Watkins. Okay, we're in discussion. Representative Harjo of the Watley Band.
I just wanted to point out that this is an amazing justification narrative, and this might be a standard that we might want to uphold. So I just want to point that out.
Representative Petit.
Yes, Chair. You had mentioned earlier that the final rule had become, I guess, effective April 1st. Is that correct? Okay.
That's correct.
In your breakdown of the funding of this $10 million, would it be acceptable for this to be in $5 million increments, and we vote on this again in a subsequent fiscal year? Would the chair be amenable to that?
Well, what happens is under the ARPA plan, it's a continuation until December of 2024, except for projects that are already breaking ground, and then you have an additional 2 years of 2026. So it can continue on into the next fiscal year if the total amount of this was approved. Of course, it wouldn't. I don't know that we could spend it if it was to be approved, in the first fiscal year, obviously, that we're existently in, 22. And I think probably maybe Chief Palmer explained in community development, and with Horse and others, what it's going to be able to do if this was to be able to pass some of the, in many areas. Are you asking to divide it up into this fiscal year of $5 million and in the next fiscal year of 2023, it's $5 million as well?
Yes.
Okay.
So with the justifications, with those budgets, we do have those into 1 and 2 years. So the final rule allows for a one-time revenue loss claim, which is the $10 million. So if we were to limit that to 5, it's going to be very difficult to make an argument to request another 5. So I would recommend that we leave it as the 10 million and then move forward with it how we have detailed that in the budgets and the justification.
Representative Dethridge, you have the floor.
Just got a quick question. On the final whereas on the first page, it lists Light Horse Police workforce and equipment. It lists tribal court workforce and equipment. And then it says ARPA related administrative cost, IDC. Is that indirect cost payroll? Is that what that is? Or should that have been something along the lines of Indian child welfare?
No, so that is IDC. Indirect cost is allowable under ARPA. We did not list each individual program that could benefit from this. Any administrative costs or other programs, anything that's going to be allowable is what this would be extended to. We did want to place emphasis on Light Horse and Tribal Court specifically because there is a fairly large amount that would go toward those two specific areas.
Okay, so you included in your budget, you included Indian child welfare, but you're saying now that it may not go to Indian child welfare?
It can go to Indian child welfare, it can go to janitors, it can go to maintenance, anything that's going to be critical infrastructure or an operation of this government. So committee stipends to travel for specific training if it's needed, anything that we would have normally had the funding for, but as a result of COVID, that funding was limited through the casinos on what we were able to receive. This is a replacement of.
Okay, thanks, sir.
And it's dictated within the law itself, within the Congressional Act. Also, community development, we're planning on getting probably the first time in the history of the Seminole Nation, if this was to pass by the council, actually new equipment. Any other comments or discussion? Any other comments or discussion? I see none. So we'll go to the question. TR 2022-22.
Leetta Sampson,
No.
Anthony Conley,
No.
John Narcome, John Narcome, Rena Tiger, Rena Tiger,
I was offline.
who's that, Joe?
Representative Narcome, did you say
Yeah, I
something?
just got back online. Yes.
Okay. Rena Tiger,
I voted yes earlier.
okay. Anastasia Pittman, Anastasia Pittman, Terry Edwards,
No.
Nancy Fixico, Ida Gonzalez,
Yes.
Leon Petit,
No.
Joseph Billy,
Yes.
Dolores Harjo,
Yes.
Karen Fulbright, Ann Borba, Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Sinu Yesla,
Yes.
Lottie Cootie, Ella Coleman,
Yes.
Shirley Watkins,
Yes.
Natalie Harjo,
Yes.
Catherine McCoy,
No.
Charlie Hill,
No.
Tiffany Cully,
Abstain.
Danita Harjo,
Abstain.
Willis Etheridge,
Yes.
Desiree Emerton,
Yes.
I have a count of 15 yes, 7 no, 2 abstentions.
With a count of 15 yes and 7 no and 2 abstentions, I declare TR 2022-22 to have passed. Reports of committees, none at this time. We're under new business. Tribal Ordinance 2022-02, sponsored by Representative Shirley Watkins.
Mr. Chairman, in this number T02022-02, a tribal ordinance of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma amending Section 204 of Title VII of the Seminole Nation Code of Laws and adding Section 214 to Title VII of the Seminole Nation Code of Laws. to establish a preliminary hearing process within the Seminole Nation Criminal Procedure Code. And I ask for a second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Mr. Brown, if you would, come in case there are some questions pertaining to this tribal ordinance.
This amendment is intended to clarify the criminal procedure in Title VII related to arraignment under Section 204 and add criminal procedures for preliminary hearings under a new Section 214. Attorney Tim Brown is present and available in the council house to answer any question that you may have regarding this amendment.
Are there any questions for the prosecutor, Mr. Tim Brown, from tribal courts? I see no hands up in virtual, and I see no hands up to take the floor here in person. So everybody understands what's being asked of them. So there's a motion and there's a second. No discussion on the matter that I can see. Secretary, call the roll. This is TO 2022-02. This is a tribal ordinance.
Leota Sampson. Leota Sampson.
No.
Anthony Conley.
No.
John Narkemy.
Yes.
Rena Tiger.
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman. Anastasia Pittman. Terry Edwards.
No.
Nancy Fixico.
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez.
Yes.
Leon Petit.
Yes.
Joseph Billy.
Yes.
Delois Harjo.
Yes.
Karen Fulbright.
Yes.
Ann Borba.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Sina Yesla.
Yes.
Lottie Cootie. Ella Coleman.
Yes.
Shirley Watkins.
Yes.
Natalie Harjo.
Yes.
Catherine McCoy.
Abstain.
Charlie Hill.
Okay.
Tiffany Cully.
Abstain.
Danita Harjo.
Abstain.
Will Stethridge.
Yes.
Desiree Emerton.
Yes.
I have a count of 17 yes, 3 no, 4 abstentions.
With a count of 17 yes, 3 no, and 4 abstentions, I declare that TO 2022-02 to have passed. TO 2022-03, a tribal ordinance of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma amending the General Council Code of Title 18A, Chapter 2, Title Burial Assistance Program. Entertain a motion to that effect.
I'll make that motion.
A motion by Representative Dithridge, second by Representative Lambert. This is because of the ARPA resolution had passed. This is just changing some things within that law, within the judgment fund for burial alone. Does everyone understand? Is there any questions or discussion?
I have a question.
Is this Representative McCoy?
Yes.
Okay, Representative McCoy, you have the floor.
Chair, I want to know that since, what are the plans, if any, to increase the clothing allowance for our children through the judgment funds? And it appears we're just focusing on the burial assistance.
I was having a difficult time hearing you, but I think you said something about trying to propose an increase in the clothing allowance.
Can you hear me now? Chair, can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but there's a lot of echo, so it's hard to understand.
Okay. Basically, are there any intentions by the administration to increase the children's clothing allowance through the judgment fund?
We believe that by the June quarterly meeting before the next school session starts, that because of the negative impact of COVID to families everywhere, which include their school children as well, that there will be funds available and can be proposed at the June quarterly meeting if indeed the council desires to do that and appropriates that money. So yes, it could happen.
Okay, I just want to remind everyone, our children are our future, and it appears we're spending an increase on, and I mean no disrespect, on those that have passed. We need to prepare for the future for our children. Meadow.
Okay, thank you for your comments, Representative McCoy. Any other questions or comments? Representative Harjo or Thiwatley?
I kind of have an overall question in looking at what's coming up in 2022-43 later on with the suspension. I know that this ordinance circumvents the prior resolution that we had that has been withdrawn since it was primarily set up as an ordinance. So, but our band is having issues with the future, not fixing it right now, because we want to be proactive instead of reactive, right? So in the sense of that, we're wanting to see if we're doing so bad that we are going to temporarily suspend it later and do this for 2 to 3 years with the $5,000. There's a couple of things that kind of came out in our band is, number one, do we think that it's feasible that the judgment fund is going to bounce back in that next couple of years, and then we'll be able to jump back into the 3,000? However, are we going to have to increase it to the 5,000? Because as you all know, we don't have our own funeral home. So we are paying other people at their funeral homes this amount of money that we've been able to give them, and they're going to increase their costs as well, and we have to increase our cost as well. And then in a couple of years, are we going to go back down to 3,000? That is not going to work again, and then we put ourselves in the same situation. And we're making this an ordinance, so that means it's going to be law. That's the scary part about it, is how far into the future are we able to look? Are we going to be able to recover, is what I'm saying, with a special program that's only going to last us 2 or 3 years, and then we have our tribal members used to it, and then we take it away from them. How are we going to fix that from here on? Maybe that's a discussion that we need to talk about later on. But what happens when we have more people that qualify in that window of time, and then there's not any more money because we've expended it all? So are we going to have to immediately reinstate if we decide to suspend later? And then is there a plan? I guess I need to say, there's a lot of things that are coming up as far as funeral homes raising their prices, cost of, everything that's going up, gas, everything. We need to have a good solid plan in place before we just willy-nilly develop a law that doesn't have a plan for the future if that was to happen. And we're very scared of this particular ordinance because of it and because of what's coming up later. I'm just worried and concerned. And as Ms. McCoy, Representative McCoy actually brought up a little while ago, it's judgment fund across the board. And yes, we are worried about the burial because of the pandemic and solely because of the pandemic. However, we do have children that are increasing in numbers daily. And if we don't it's kind of like an algebraic equation. If you don't do something to one side and then forget the other, it's not going to balance out. So how are we going to address that in the future? And those are the concerns that I have before, that I'm asking of you right now, if there's any plan that's in place for that.
I think when you're dealing with judgment fund funds, those are trust funds, obviously. We do have a trust fund board. I think we have two that was appointed under this administration and one that was appointed under the past administration. They do need to meet, and they need to bring these issues up to the tribal council. As we who have been a part of the Seminole Nation for any length of time over the years realize that judgment fund had certain amount of yields. There's not a lot that we can do about that unless we decided to do what we would call like a endowment and with some of the same type, and it's been proposed at different administrations where the possibility of better interest rates could be occurred to perhaps make up that difference in a period of years that would stabilize some of the areas that we expend with judgment fund. That hasn't real seriously been taken by any of the council. Well, not by the council, but by the Seminole tribal members. And one of the reasons is anytime you're going to deal with the trust funds, I believe people feel like it's secure where it's at, even though we don't get the yields and the interest rates that we believe that we deserve from that settlement. Nobody's really come up with a plan from trust fund management and entertained. I think the last one was 30 years ago. But yes, it does need to be addressed in the near future. Sustaining the programs under judgment fund has always been an issue with the Seminole Nation as our membership increases and the demand on the program activities that's involved with judgment fund. So that's something we all have to look at as tribal leaders.
I do agree, because I think a lot of times when we implement programs that we don't think about sustainability later on, all we're worried about is the now, because we are an instant microwave kind of situation for most people. Is we want it right now. We can't wait till later. But we do need to start thinking about later on. We need to start slow cooking some of these programs is what I'm saying, so we can make sure that we're going to be able to feed everybody and not just the people that show up today.
Yes, I had asked the Trust Fund Management Board in the previous administration to come up with 2 to 3 different options that the council could take a serious look at. I believe that they were heading that direction, and it came to a halt somewhere along the line.
And I can offer a couple answers to the question. So, yes, this would last as long as the money is there, or we could also request another appropriation from the ARPA funds. As far as we're looking at judgment fund with the clothing allowance, as it is now with the current tribal enrollment, there's not enough in the budget. If 100% of the children that are eligible were to apply, we do not have enough money to cover that as it is. Every day we are getting closer and closer to that $35 million mark. We all know that's the magic number. With the current rate that we are utilizing the judgment fund, these programs are not sustainable. And it's something that need, I understand, and I feel the same as you as far as developing these programs to where they are sustainable. But unfortunately, the need is now to address burial due to the increased number that we've had over the last 2 years. Again, this program would be through the performance period of the ARPA dollars, and it would be limited to such. So at the conclusion of that, it would revert back to the $3,000.
Any other questions? This is TO 2022-03. There's no other discussion? There's no other discussion. I'll ask the secretary to call the roll.
I see a hand up.
Oh, you see a hand up? Representative Narkemy, you have the floor.
Yes. Thank you, first and foremost, to my fellow council members for placing me on the Judgment Fund Board. I'm not sure whether you'll, I appreciate the sentiment, but, I'm not sure whether y'all did me a favor or not. But the Trust Fund Management Board had their first meeting in 2 years. It is my understanding that the last meeting of the Judgment Fund Board was in March of 2020, so or sometime around that, or in 2020 somewhere. So it's been more than a year, maybe a year and a half, since the board has actually met. So we just had our first meeting not too long ago. We discussed a good amount of ideas as to where we're going to go here in the future. We'd like nothing better than to work with the council on how we're going to approach the future, because when this program started in the early 90s, we had about 9,000, maybe 10,000 members, and our investments were around 8 to 9%. Over that time, we've increased membership close to 19,000 now, and our interest that we're accumulating hovers right around 2%, maybe 3%. So, thus, it is a matter of balance. Our membership has gone up, and our access to funds has gone down. So over the years, those members that have, been with us for a while, they have seen that many of these programs have had to be suspended. Some of them have had to be discontinued, and some of them have had to be reduced. We all want to see this fund do better. And one of the ideas that has been brought in the past was to reevaluate our investments. And that's always been a controversial issue, because right now our investments are pretty safe. They're pretty much guaranteed some sort of return, but if we increase our investments, then we run higher risk, and that does have concerns for me. But it's what I've signed up for, and we will, as the board, put together a couple of ideas as to how we're going to face the future and how we're going to try to manage the money that we have as opposed to the need. And, just would like everyone to know that the board is going to meet regularly now, and basically wish us luck. We're going to try. We're going to try very hard. Thank you.
Thank you for those comments, Representative Narkemy. TO 2022-03. There's a motion and a second. Any other comments? There's no other comments, and I see none. No hands raised at this time. Secretary, call the roll.
Leota Sampson? Leota Sampson?
No.
Anthony Conley,
No.
John Narcome,
Yes.
Rena Tiger,
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman,
No.
Terry Edwards,
No.
Nancy Fixico,
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez,
Yes.
Leon Petit,
No.
Joseph Billy,
Yes.
Delois Harjo,
Yes.
Karen Fulbright, Ann Borba,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Sini Yesla,
Yes.
Lottie Cootie, Ella Coleman,
Yes.
Shirley Watkins,
Yes.
Natalie Harjo,
Abstain.
Catherine McCoy,
No.
Charlie Hill,
Two.
Tiffany Cully,
Abstain.
Danita Harjo,
Abstain.
Willis Dethridge,
Yes.
Desiree Emerton,
Yes.
I have a count of 14 yes, 8 no, 3 abstentions.
With a count of 14 yes, 8 no, and 3 abstentions, I declare TO 2022-03 to have passed. TR 2022-40, introduced by the Finance Committee, Representative Gonzalez with the absence of Representative Scraper.
TR 2022-40, a charter resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma approving the Child Care American Rescue Plan Act, stabilization budget, and incorporate said budget into the FY 2022 comprehensive budget and authorizing appropriation. I make a motion that we approve. Ask for a second.
There's a motion by Representative Gonzalez, and was that second by Representative Borba? Discussion? Representative Harjo of the Wathley Band?
Thank you, Chair. Representative Gonzalez, I have a couple of questions, and they're all dominantly on individual line items, particularly the incentives for childcare at $34,320. And I may have overlooked it in the justifications, but I did not see anything that clearly stated what we are incentivizing. And I am aware that in the past, we have had incentives for employees, such as, because this funding isn't general fund, right? It's coming from their funding agent, that they allow shoes, and things like that for employees. So I just wanted to clarify what we are incentivizing and what the $34,320 will be used for childcare specifically. Additionally, the budget line for IPW and tribal court incentives is $20,000. And like I said, I may have overlooked it, but there was nothing that stated what we are incentivizing and how that money is going to be used. Can you clarify that for me, please?
I'm going to refer this to the Director of Child Care.
While Director Postoke is coming to the floor, go ahead and come this way, Ms. Postoke. I'm going to ask Chief Palmer to go ahead and explain that this stabilization for childcare is totally different than the Seminole ARPA funds. We'll go ahead and say this, that there's a lot of funds that was not executed over the course of the last 4 years, especially with CARES Act funds to the specific programs. We are at the point where we're able to bring those to the council so that those funds will be tracked accordingly, be utilized in most efficient ways, because you literally, have lots of money that went to these specific programs, and this one particular we're talking about now is, of course, childcare, that wasn't utilized in the past, what I would say, in a manner, in a way that was fruitful to be able to align with the deadlines where these funds have to be used. So with that, I'm turning it over to Director Postoke, childcare.
It's what we use incentives for. The staff, usually to buy them shoes. We buy scrubs for all of our teachers, all the staff that works in the classrooms. We usually get jackets during the winter. This year we didn't receive any, but just items to help improve staff morale.
Thank you, Ricky. I knew that that's how we had kind of run it in the past, and just for clarity's sake, I just wanted to make sure that when I go back to the band and they ask, then I can say, this is what it is. Because it's not on here in the justifications, I asked the director. Does that make sense? I'm not in any way attacking you.
Yeah, yes,
I just wanted
that makes
to make
sense.
sure that we're clear. And like I said, I'm well aware that that's how it's happened in the past. A lot of times when we have larger grants and funding agencies that are outside of our general fund, then they do make allowances for such. And I just wanted to say thank you very much for stepping up and letting us know. That's all I had for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
ICW Tribal Court, and are they there for their $20,000 discussion for the $20,000 pyramid?
These are totally different funds. If we're talking about Seminole ARPA, that was passed in a formal resolution, and this is child care specific, this particular
Oh, and
resolution.
I think I might have that question on the next resolution, so that might be what that's for. I'm sorry.
Are there any
I'm
other
done right now.
questions for me?
Any other question that's germane to child care? Representative Dethridge.
Question is, I see where you've given raises to some people, teachers and teachers' aides and this and that in this budget, right? That
Yes.
we're asking about.
Yes, hazard pay.
And once we go from a pandemic to an endemic or whatever, and that funding stops from the federal government and from your DHS or whomever, what's going to happen to those people that have been used to getting $5 and $6 an hour extra? How's that going to, where's that money going to come from? Or they realize that, hey, I was making $25 today, and tomorrow I'm going to be making 15 again. They realize that.
They all realize that this is hazard pay only, and when the funds are gone, then it'll go back to the regular salaries.
Okay.
Within the stabilization grant for this specific program and these funds, it is allowable. I know we went over this many times, both at finance and also within the staff within accounting and with child care. Now, we realize that some programs do have available funding that other programs do not. We see that. But it is allowable under the stabilization grant under this specific child care program. And a certain amount of time it has to be expended as well. Now, what we're doing in this administration, we're bringing things to you, even though maybe there needs to be a little more work on justifications and such, as been mentioned several times throughout this meeting. We are bringing things to you so that you can actually vote accordingly. Okay. Representative Borba.
Thank you, appreciate that.
And I know that Director Postoke knows that under this administration, we're directing, there's an influx of money there. She knows as a director, we're going to do everything we can, but we don't have to give the money back to the federal government. I don't believe in giving money back to the federal government if you don't have to. You need to execute and administrate it and spend it for the benefit and the welfare and well-being of the members of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. And we're all in agreement with that. at this point, and we're going to continue to move that direction. I will say that there's been a little bit of a stall, the last 4 years where monies was being expended. There was reallocations that had to be done. I'm not going to say the figures because you would fall over, but everything we possibly can do in this administration to spend the funds that's available through federal funds and all of our programs we're going to do with efficiency as best as we can. And we've had to deal with agencies all across the board. But Representative Cootie and Chief Palmer, can you chair for a few moments, please?
We're child care. Head Start goes on field trips. They have buses to take children. We don't. Our parents drop the children off. We usually don't do a field trip unless the parents are providing transportation to the children. So I'm thinking maybe Head Start.
That is correct. That would be a question that would need to be directed to the Head Start program. Representative Fixco?
I guess the information I got right here is IT technician, new position. Where is that going to be?
That would be specific for child care program.
Are they going to be based over there?
That would be correct.
Do we have a place for it, Keith?
We have performed our due diligence to ensure that they would be housed properly.
Okay. Oh, that's it. Thank you.
Representative Dethridge?
One last question. Can you tell me how many children you service in all of your areas? Total number?
We have 68 counting all of our relative provider children.
I didn't hear what you said.
68 counting all of our children, including relative provider children.
68?
Yes, sir.
And Head Start, and early Head Start has 189.
Yeah, they're required, Head Start's required to have a certain amount of children. Child care, we are licensed for a certain amount of children at each center, so.
Okay, is there any further questions for Ms. Postoak? Okay, Ms. Postoak, thank you.
We have a series of meetings coming up with child care and other departments as well. We'll see where it's at. We may be able to extend child care for even hours. And if we are able to do that, then we will extend, we will do that. If we have people that work other than 85 in the Seminole Nation. So if there's a possibility that is allowable, we're going to try to move to that. And we hire more employees to fill those shifts. I retain my seat as chair at this time. Okay, we're back to the original question. TR 2022-40. No other comments or questions? I know we're trying to push on. Maybe we can complete this by 1 o'clock. If there's no other questions, Secretary, call the roll.
Leota Simpson,
Yes.
Anthony Conley,
Yes.
John Narcome,
Yes.
Rena Tiger,
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman,
Yes.
Terry Edwards,
Yes.
Nancy Fixico, Ida Gonzalez,
Yes.
Leon Petit,
No.
Joseph Billy,
Yes.
Delois Harjo,
Yes.
Karen Fulbright, Ann Borba, Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Sina Yesla,
Yes.
Lottie Cootie, Ella Coleman,
Yes.
Shirley Watkins,
Yes.
Natalie Harjo.
Yes.
Can you repeat that?
Yes.
Catherine McCoy,
Yes.
Charlie Hill,
Yes.
Tiffany Cully,
Abstain.
Danita Harjo,
Abstain.
Willis Dethridge,
Yes.
Desiree Emerton,
Yes.
I have a count of 21 yes, 2 no, 2 abstentions.
With a count of 21 yes, 2 no, and 2 abstentions, I declare TR 2022-40 to have passed. TR 2022-41, a tribal resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma approving the Child Care American Rescue Plan Act, supplemental budget, and incorporation of said budget in the fiscal year 2022 comprehensive budget and authorization of an appropriation. Entertain a motion to that effect. I'm sorry, I read it for you.
I make a motion to approve.
A motion to approve. And a second by Representative Fixico. We're in discussion. Ms. Postoke, can you also come back up for this resolution? Okay, any questions for Director of Child Care, Ms. Postoke?
I have a question.
Representative Yesleth, you have the floor.
Yes, I just had a question. In the grant funding, when you apply for your grant, do you count the cooks under you or does Head Start?
Well, we have childcare cooks, and they're counted under us. Head Start cooks are Head Starts. It's 2 different funding. So we only count our childcare cooks.
Okay, how many do you have?
Right now, we only have 2.
2?
At the Seminole Center, because we provide meals there. The other centers, the children are before and after care, so they actually go into the Head Start program. We only have them till like 9 o'clock until after 3 o'clock of the evening. So we don't have cooks at the other centers.
Okay, so you don't have cook at Barking Water or
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay, and those are Head Start cooks?
Yes, ma'am.
And they're counted under Head Start?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Ms. Postoke? Representative Watkins, you have the floor.
Ms. Postoke, I failed to ask a question on that other resolution, and that was on the Rover. Are they eligible for mileage from traveling around?
No, we have our own tribal vehicles at each center, so they use the vehicles.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
If there's no further questions, thank you, Ms. Postoke.
Thank y'all. Have a good evening.
Got a motion and a second, TR 2022-41. Secretary, call the roll.
Leota Sampson,
Yes.
Anthony Conley,
Yes.
John Narcome,
Yes.
Rena Tiger,
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman,
Yes.
Terry Edwards,
Yes.
Nancy Fixico, Ida Gonzalez, Tamara Downey, Leon Petit,
No.
Joseph Billy,
Yes.
Delois Harjo, Delois Harjo,
Yes.
Karen Fulbright, Ann Borba, Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Sina Yesla,
Yes.
Lottie Cootie, Ella Coleman,
Yes.
Shirley Watkins,
Yes.
Natalie Harjo,
Yes.
Catherine McCoy,
Yes.
Charlie Hill,
Yes.
Tiffany Cully,
Abstain.
Danita Harjo,
Abstain.
Willis Dethridge, Desiree Emerton,
Yes.
I have a count of 21 yes, 2 no, 2 abstentions.
With a count of 21 yes, 2 no, and 2 abstentions, I declare TR 2022-41 to have passed. TR 2022-42, introduced by the Finance Committee.
TR 2022-42, Tribal Resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, approving the Tribal Court, Office of Violence Against Women, grant budget and incorporate of said budget in the FY 2022 comprehensive budget and authorizing appropriation. I make a motion to approve. Ask for a second.
There's a motion approved by Representative Gonzalez, seconded by Representative Fixico. Any questions? Representative Petit?
Yes, I just wanted to ask, am I correct in this is $249,000? Is that what the figure was for that grant? Okay, all right. Thank you.
If there's no other questions on this measure, Secretary, call the roll.
Leota Sampson,
Yes.
Anthony Conley,
Yes.
John Narcome,
Yes.
Rena Tiger,
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman,
Yes.
Terry Edwards,
Yes.
Nancy Fixico, Ida Gonzalez, Leon Petit,
Yes.
Joseph Billy,
Yes.
Delois Harjo,
Yes.
Karen Fulbright, Ann Borba, Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Sina Yesla,
Yes.
Lottie Cootie, Ella Coleman,
Yes.
Shirley Watkins,
Yes.
Natalie Harjo,
Yes.
Catherine McCoy,
Yes.
Charlie Hill,
Yes.
Tiffany Cully,
Abstain.
Danita Harjo,
Abstain.
Willis Dethridge, Desiree Emerton,
Yes.
I have a count of 24 yes, 0 no, 2 abstentions.
With a count of 24 yes, 0 no, and 2 abstentions, I declare TR 2022-42 to have passed. TR 2022-43, a tribal resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma approving a one-time appropriation of $5 million from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 funds to facilitate expansion of the Woka Indian health service unit and a pharmacy in response to the COVID-19 public health emergency. That pharmacy will be a drive-through pharmacy.
I make a motion.
A motion by Representative Watkins, second by Representative Coleman. Discussion? Oh, the second was by Fulbright? Okay, a second by Representative Fulbright. Chair stands corrected. There's a motion and second. I see no questions, no discussion. Secretary, call the roll.
Leetta Sampson,
Yes.
Anthony Conley,
Yes.
John Narcome,
Yes.
Rena Tiger,
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman,
Yes.
Terry Edwards,
Yes.
Nancy Fixico,
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez,
Yes.
Leon Petit,
No.
Joseph Billy,
Yes.
Dolores Harjo,
Yes.
Karen Fulbright, Ann Borba, Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Sina Yesla.
Yes.
Can you repeat that? Sina?
Yes.
Lottie Cootie? Ella Coleman?
Yes.
Shirley Watkins?
Yes.
Natalie Harjo?
Yes.
Catherine McCoy?
No.
Charlie Hill?
No.
Tiffany Cully?
Abstain.
Danita Harjo?
Abstain.
Willis Dethridge? Desiree Emerton?
Yes.
I have a count of 20 yes, 3 no, 2 abstentions.
With a count of 20 yes, 3 no, and 2 abstentions, I declare TR 2022-43 to have passed. TR 2022-44.
Oh, okay. I have a count of 20 yes, 3 no, 2 abstentions. Oh, no.
Okay, we'll stand with the Secretary's count. All right, we're going to continue on, Representatives. TR 2022-44, a resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma General Council authorizing the Executive Office by and through the Program Development Department to prepare and submit grant applications to various federal government agencies for both fiscal year 2022 and fiscal year 2023. And these are understood to be grants to be applied with through the program developer that does not include a match. Motion approved by Representative Coleman, second by Representative Gonzalez. I see no hands
Chair.
virtually.
Chair.
Is this Representative McCoy?
Yes, sir.
Representative McCoy, you have the floor.
Could you tell me who the director of the program development department is?
Who that is Dr. Smith.
First name, please?
Randy Smith, that's right. I just had I'm not going to say a senior moment because although I am considered one now, Dr. Randy Smith, program developer.
Thank you.
Yes. Representative Petit.
Yes, Chair, I just had a question. Has this not been a business practice in the past? It's everything as far as that has went through executive for application of grants?
It has been a practice, and there is a resolution in bygone years that really covers the chief of the nation to be able to approve application for grants that do not include a tribal match. But some of the grants want an updated resolution that's current. So that's why we're asking for FY '22 and '23.
Well, my concern was that it wouldn't restrict some of these programs from making a grant, that they may recognize and a need for prior to get you, but I understand we need to coordinate that simply because we don't want your office and them to also make dual applications for grants. So
Oh, we definitely will not take a dual application. The only time that really comes up in question is if housing is trying to go after an ICDBG grant and the nation is also, we coordinate with one another to see if who's going to be sending in a grant during that time.
Okay. Well, that was just, I wanted to make sure that there was an established coordination there between the grant programs in your office, that we didn't do that because there's information that needs to be shared in those grants applications. So, thank you.
Thank you, Representative Petit. Okay, if there's no other questions or discussion, Secretary. Oh, Representative Harjo of Thiawathli.
I just wanted to do a point of information for Representative Petit. We did pass an omnibus grant. Did I say that right? An omnibus grant or a resolution for several grants, but sometimes our grants, like Chief said, some of them individually require an updated one or specific to a particular quarter or specific to a particular program. So sometimes we kind of do have to do this, jump through hoops things, specifically just for formality's sake. So I just wanted to offer that. We've done it in the past. It is a past practice.
Okay, if there's no other discussion, Secretary, call the roll.
Leota Sampson,
Yes.
Anthony Conley,
Yes.
John Narcome,
Yes.
Rena Tiger,
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman, Anastasia Pittman, Terry Edwards.
Yes.
Oh, I heard you. Terry Edwards.
Thank you.
Yes.
Nancy Fixico,
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez,
Yes.
Tamara Downey, Leon Petit,
Yes.
Joseph Billy,
Yes.
Delois Harjo,
Yes.
Karen Fulbright, Ann Borba, Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Sina Yesla,
Yes.
Lottie Cootie, Ella Coleman,
Yes.
Shirley Watkins,
Yes.
Natalie Harjo,
Yes.
Catherine McCoy,
No.
Charlie Hill,
No.
Tiffany Cully,
Abstain.
Danita Harjo,
Abstain.
Willis Dethridge, Desiree Emerton,
Yes.
The one from 2009.
I have a count of 21 yes, 2 no, 2 abstentions.
With a count of 21 yes, 2 no, and 2 abstentions, I declare TR 2022-44 to have passed. TR 2022-45, a tribal resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma approving the suspension of the Judgment Fund burial assistance only upon the approval of 2022-03 with such Justice Fund burial, that's supposed to be Judgment Fund, burial assistance program to be reinstated upon the earliest to occur in the funds from the 2022-03 having been expended or on December 31st, 2024. So that answers some of the questions from the last ordinance that was changed. Any questions? Is it motion approved by Representative Dethridge? Second by Representative Gonzalez.
I have,
Representative Dethridge.
Please have the secretary note that instead of justice, it does say judgment fund.
Yes. That's noted. Any questions, comments, or discussion?
yes.
Representative Narcomi, you have the floor.
This resolution states until the funds are expended. Based upon the math, because the ARPA rules kind of apply dating back to March of 2021, there's a large amount of this funding that will have to be extended to accommodate previous burials in the past. So going forward from this point, there's only a very limited amount of burials that can be accommodated using the before mentioned amounts. So I would just like to take this opportunity to ask the administration to meet with the Judgment Fund Board to determine a further need for this particular fund. Otherwise, the time of the time of expiration for these funds is going to be very quick indeed. So I'd just like to ask if, that could be maybe agreeable to meet with us at some future point.
Representative Narcomi.
Chief Palmer.
Your concerns are noted. This would be a program similar to the distribution in which eligible, they would have to apply for. So it's not automatically retroactive to where we're going to seek out those individuals to see if they have a need or can apply. So that should alleviate at least immediately some of your concerns. And again, this is one of those programs to where I agree. Perhaps we should have requested a larger appropriation in the beginning. However, we didn't have those exact figures or projections as this was being developed until it had already been to a point that it was being presented to the council. So
Okay.
that's two areas that will, short term, could correct that issue and amend that. So
Thank you very much.
thank you.
Any other questions or discussion? I see none in virtual, nor do I see any hands here. So Secretary, call the roll.
Leota Sampson,
Yes.
Anthony Conley,
Yes.
John Narcomi,
Yes.
Rena Tiger,
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman,
Yes.
Terry Edwards,
Yes.
Nancy Fixico,
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez, Leon Petit,
No.
Joseph Billy,
Yes.
Delois Harjo,
Yes.
Karen Fulbright, Ann Borba, Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Sina Yesla,
Yes.
Lottie Cootie, Ella Coleman,
Yes.
Shirley Watkins,
Yes.
Natalie Harjo,
Yes.
Catherine McCoy,
No.
Charlie Hill,
No.
Tiffany Cully,
Abstain.
Danita Harjo,
Abstain.
Willis Dethridge,
Yes.
Desiree Emerton,
Yes.
I have a count of 19 yes, 4 no, 2 abstentions.
With a count of 19 yes and 4 no and 2 abstentions, I declare TR 2022-45 to have passed. That concludes the business of the special call meeting of April 9th, 2022. So at this time, we'll have prayer and we'll adjourn. And Ms. Coleman, can you lead us in prayer dismissal?
Our Heavenly Father, as we come to the end of our time together, we thank you for what has been accomplished today. May the matters discussed serve as a catalyst to move us forward and cause us to advance and see growth in all areas within the Seminole Nation. And as we head home, please have an ever-loving guiding hand over our travels that we can return home safely. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
No objections to adjournment? No objections to adjournment. We stand